The two-day 54th ASEAN-COCI meeting in Palawan has just concluded in Puerto Princesa City in Palawan. As PTV's Kenneth Paciente reports, the annual meeting was a success.
Successful and fruitful. This is how the meetings of the 54th Association of Southeast Asian Nations Committee on Culture and Information, or ASEAN-COCI, turned out, according to Presidential Communications Operations Office Under-Secretary George Apacible, who chaired the event. He says the meetings went smoothly and ASEAN member states came to a consensus regarding the ongoing and upcoming projects to develop the fields of culture and communication between and among ASEAN member states.
It was a very successful meeting. It went very smoothly. There were no reactions. It was very quiet. I was quite shocked. The countries that the questions that were brought up, the recommendations were, it's just basically a reminder to remind the ASEC or the ASEAN Secretariat to follow up this, to update them on this, because the countries who are downloading that fund or receiving that fund really wants to make sure those funds get to them, gets utilized, gets liquidated, and of course the content that they're planning to do or how they're going to project or use that fund is well utilized.
All the matters tackled in the ASEAN-COCI will be brought up in a senior officials meeting responsible for information, or SOMRI, which will then pass it to the ASEAN ministers responsible for information, or AMRI, for approval. The ASEAN-COCI proposed budget is $778,000, which will be divided between the Subcommittee on Culture and Information. Before the plenary session started, delegates were welcomed by colorful and energetic cultural shows performed by the Palawan State University Sining Palawan Dance Troupe and Palawan State University Singers. Moreover, Department of Foreign Affairs Under Secretary Ernesto Abella emphasized the significance of the ASEAN-COCI. He asserted that though ASEAN member states espouse and promote diversity, they bond through one goal: to encourage the people to be proud of their ASEAN identity and heritage.
Let us remember that we are builders, part of the construction crew that builds the ASEAN community. Today is the 54th time that this committee is meeting. I encourage you to be bold and be daring in thinking of projects that would build on our ASEAN identity and consciously upholding the values of tolerance, mutual understanding, and respect for ASEAN unity and togetherness. Let us remember that there's more that connects us than separates us. The waters that seem to separate us are actually bridges for truly making us one.
Because of the successful results of the 54th ASEAN-COCI, ASEAN member states are hoping that through this, relationships between and among all member states continue to enhance. Kenneth Paciente for The Nation.
Beyond the headlines,
it's news with a different perspective.
before the day ends,
For events that shape our views and impacts the world around us.
we keep you up to speed.
With Richmond Cruz and Charms Espina. PTV News Headlines, your comprehensive nightly news source, only here.